Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of NAUI Talk. Today, we're going to have a discussion on the tools that can help build your NAUI business. But before we start, I always like to say what's upcoming. As you see on the screen, we've got how to customize the promotional items, which is actually part 2 of today's series. So quite often they're standalone, but today, part 1 is where you can find the tools and what they are, and part 2 is how to customize them, and that'll be on the 19th. Note that in November, we have 2 special editions. We'll be doing a members update online as well as the annual general meeting. So our NAUI Talks will take a break as of the end of October. That's the end of this particular series. We'll resume in December. In the middle, we're going to have these topics in November. We'll talk more about that as time goes on. Today, we're discussing tools to build your NAUI business. Our desire is that at the end of today, you'll know A, where to find the tools, and B, what resources are there. Our goal is whether you're an independent instructor, whether you're a store, a charter company, a resort, a professional educator, whether you're in any country, in any part of the world, we want to be there for you to help build your business. And that's what today's one more example of. To accomplish this task, we're going to look at NAUI Core, Member Resources folder, Marketing Communications, Phase 1, Navigating folder, Phase 2, and a call to action. So let's dive into each of these topics. Remember, as always, I like to handle the questions as they come up. So if you have a question, depending on how your screen is set up, you'll see Q&A either up there or down there. And just click on the Q&A, go ahead, type in your question. I'll handle them as we go. And if there's more at the end, I'll handle them there as well. If for any reason your question doesn't get answered fully, remember, you can always email me at bdoran@naui.org. BDORAN@naui.org. Let's begin. First of all, you need to go to Core. Everybody knows about the NAUI website, naui.org. Again, virtually everybody on this session is a NAUI member, so this shouldn't be a surprise. This is what it currently looks like. It'll be changing shortly, and it does change periodically. But this is the main page when you go to naui.org. Then you want to log in. Note on the top right-hand corner, there's a login. So go ahead and log in. Once you log in, you're going to see this screen, the NAUI welcome screen for you, the member. Note on the left-hand side, there's the menu. Scroll down the menu until you see Member Resources. I've currently got it highlighted as white. It would be orange, but because I'm highlighting it right now, you'll see it as white. When you get to there, go ahead and click that button. Once you're inside the folder, these are the other subfolders that are within it. Note that the marketing and communication one is the third folder down. So let's have a look at how this is going to change. Okay, it's not live yet. I'm going to wait till we've done both of our sessions and then post both of the sessions up on NAUI TV, and like we normally do, because I record them, along with do the member resource folder swap. So that'll be coming in a few weeks, approximately the 22nd of the month, right at the end of that week. So let's have a look and see exactly what these will look like. Again, a moment ago I showed you the marketing communications folder. That was the third tab down. Once you open the new tab, right now it's not there, this is what you're going to see. 2 tabs to start with, one that says NAUI Brand Guidelines and one that says Tools to Build Your NAUI Business. Under the NAUI Brand Guidelines, it's basically all the questions that you want to have answered of how you can use the NAUI logos, how you can use the phrases and other ideas. The rules basically are there. So go ahead and you can open that up and read that. If you have any questions, you can certainly talk to anybody in standards at NAUI or ethics or training. You can talk to me in marketing. We'd certainly love to help guide you through it. And we have a most amazing group of people in our member services. So when you call, just ask them. It always goes to them first, and they're just a wonderful resource. So go ahead and ask your questions. We're there to help. We're part of your team. An example of what you might find in there is, for instance, a logo. Right here, you notice it says NAUI Worldwide. It's because I work for NAUI Worldwide. I'm in the NSG and NAUI Services Group, and I'm the marketing director. So I can use that logo because I work for NAUI Worldwide. If you don't work for NAUI Worldwide, then you may want to use, and again, check the rules to see how it is, NAUI Worldwide member. And there's a logo that has the exact same thing as this, but the word member under it. And you are a member. If you've paid your dues and you're a dive master instructor, you're a member of NAUI Worldwide, and you have the right to use that logo with member underneath it. And the information you would like to find is in the brand guidelines. And you can also find a lot of really great information under their standards and policies, which is also under the member resources area, but not in the marketing folder. In the second folder, you're going to see, and again, the second folder is the tools to build your NAUI business. So that's the tab. You'll see when you open up, it's broken down by language. There's only a limitation to the screen here, so I've only placed a few languages here. English, French, German, Spanish, and I put etc. because I'm going to be breaking it down by language. Rather than looking for what you're looking for and then trying to see if it's your language, let's look in the language you prefer first and go from there. Today's example, I'm going to stick with the English ones because this presentation is done in English. As far as other resources, there definitely is in other languages. If at any time you're looking for something, you don't see it in your preferred language, go back to, say, the English one. And if you find something in English you really like and you need to get it changed and customized and put into your language, I'm here to help. I love to help you with that. I'm not an expert in every language by any measure, but if you are in a particular area with a particular language, you are. A, you're a NAUI professional. B, you know the language. Work with me. Let me customize it for your language requirements. My only deal is, once I've customized it for you, I'm going to have a generic version. We'll talk more about that in the next session about customizing these tools in 2 weeks. But I will customize it and how it work with you, but then I'll make a generic version in your language that'll be posted in their language. For instance, let's say you're in a Spanish-speaking country. I would help produce that properly for you with all the graphics because you found something you like. Get it done in Spanish for both you and then a generic one that goes in there for other Spanish-speaking members that can use that resource in the future. So that's really an excellent thing that I'm trying to do. And I'm really looking to help you and work with you. And if you don't see something in there, I'm also willing to work with you and build something. Again, there'll be a generic version that will go in to the different languages. I'm going to try to get them in all languages, not just yours, okay? Once you open up, and for this case, I opened up the English language, you'll see it broken down as follows: advertisements, banners, clothing, flags, and etc. You can read the screen. What would you find under each one? Advertisements. Now, advertisements could be going into magazines or into newspapers or perhaps printed out as a standalone item that you hand out. Under advertisements, we've got it set up. There's a bifold page, so there's 2-page advertisement, a full page, the entire page, a half page, and a quarter page. So if you were going into there, you'd find different examples. And say you're doing a half page advertising in a magazine, that's where you'd find some good examples you could work with. Again, you can customize them from there, but that's next session. If you're looking to print a banner, one thing that sometimes people are not aware of, when you have graphics, they're built for certain sizes. And that's the same in all of these categories, same as advertising. But I wanted to make a point here in banners. If you have something that's meant to be, for instance, this logo in the corner on a letterhead, it doesn't mean you can stretch it out to be big enough to be a 3-meter banner. It just doesn't work that way. It ends up being grainy or distorted. So we don't want that. So what we're going to do is have banners in banners. So if you want to print a banner, you know you can go really big with these and that will work out. You certainly wouldn't want to embed them in your letterhead because that letterhead that you're using is going to really be a huge size, and that wouldn't really pay out well for space on your computer and sending things out and things like that, right? And not everybody has the ability to resize documents, be it skill sets or software. Okay, so Banners are for big items, flags, banners, that kind of thing. Feather flags, if you're familiar with that, that's those on a stand. It looks like a big, tall feather, and it says NAUI on it, or other organizations use them too. You'll notice that there's going to be a section on clothing, hats, shirts, hoodies, that kind of a thing. So all the graphics in that area are absolutely built that you can print your own. For instance, you may want this nice shirt like I have that says NAUI on it. I like this one here, but maybe where you are, the importing fees just aren't worth it to be shipped and pay whatever fees there is to get them into your country. At the same token, it could be a timeline issue. I need to get some, for whatever reason, you didn't know something was coming up. We all plan ahead, but just in case you need to get some printed right away, we'll have proper logos and proper setups where you can pull up these designs quick and give them to your local t-shirt printer, and he can print that on, or you're sending it to your hat person and she can print that on, and that would work out really well for you and really fast. Okay. Now, flags, whether it be feather flags or regular standard flags, again, banners are huge. Flags are a certain size. There's feather flags and there's big feather flags. So it would be broken down accordingly to that in size. All of these areas will have the appropriate logos and the appropriate sayings. For instance, it's not here right now, but the one that we use worldwide nowadays and have for a while now is NAUI Worldwide, and then right under it, it says dive safety through education. So underneath, it should say dive safety through education. If it doesn't, that's an outdated logo. So and again, if you look right now, you'll see some of that there, but in the coming weeks, it'll all disappear, and the only ones that are there are going to have the appropriate saying, dive safety through education. So you'll have the most up-to-date things here. So if you go to do a reprint, always go back and look in those areas and see if it's changed. And if it has, give it to your person that does the printing or whatever processing you're doing to produce your marketing materials. The rest of it may or may not be obvious for you. Postcards and flyers. Again, flyers can be half page or full page, which quite often you can use what's in the advertisements as well. Postcards is basically quarter page. You can quite often shrink things down and it would still be excellent quality, but you can't stretch them bigger than they were intended. That would cover the same conversation with posters. Posters clearly are a certain size. The next one is one I like to discuss a little bit more, promotional items that you would like to give away. Pencils, pens, NAUI ducks, well, that's something you'd order from head office, I'm sure. But pencils or pens, or you may have certain little needs in your particular area. Maybe there's a reusable cup for water and you want to print your own and have your dive center, ABC Diving, on the one side and NAUI on the other side, or whatever. Well, that would be in there. There's the graphics. It's meant to go right on it. Whoever you're sending it to would totally understand the graphics that are involved, okay? So you could produce some promotional things on your own. You certainly can order them from NAUI headquarters. Again, time is one issue. Cost could be another issue depending on what country you're in. The logistics of getting it there may be the bigger issue than the costs. So it's giving flexibility to members worldwide. And the key there is worldwide. Whether you're an independent instructor, whether you're a store, a charter boat, a resort, a professional education center, you have these options to get things in a timely and affordable manner for yourself. And we're here to help you with that. Social media posts are there, and then promotional videos. And again, we have some really great promotional videos. Right now, they're broken down by language in videos. Now they'll be broken down by language this way, and then in the videos, there's some really excellent ones. There's 6 in particular you probably really want to use on a somewhat regular basis when you go to trade shows, or whether you're going to some boot show, whether you're going to put a display up in front of a pool. These are some great videos that you can run on a loop and really get some exposure from them and get hopefully some courses. All of these ideas, all of these areas are really built so that you can build your NAUI business. We need to advertise. Just putting a sign up out on the street or up above your store or on the side of your car or wherever you happen to put a sign is great start. But again, you can get that information here too, but it's not everything. We need to get information out. Social media posts, handouts at pools, handouts at dive sites. I mean, if you're like me, I'm diving quite often, and we're getting ready for a dive or coming out of a dive, breaking our gear down, and people are going, "Oh, what are you here to see? What did you see? Why are you here diving? What's, there's all those questions that come up, and it's a great opportunity to go, well, man, today the fish were spectacular. Wow, we had lots of great fish. And, if you ever want to learn to dive, man, here's some information we teach. And it's just a great way to do that. Okay. It's good to have the handout, which leads me to next session, which is going to be how to get that customized for you. Handing out a NAUI flyer is wonderful, but let's hand out a NAUI flyer that says what we need with the professional graphics, the NAUI logo, but let's make sure it has your information so you get the customer, you get a sale of a course, because that's really what it's all about when it comes to the marketing side. So basically, once we've gone into the folder, and you can download anything out of the folder. To get into that area, you just need to be a NAUI member. It's already there. It's just going to be a redesign. You go in there, you can download anything out of there. If you can get to it, you can download it. Don't have to ask us for permission. If you don't know how to use it, check the guidelines. If that doesn't work, give us a holler, whether it be a telephone call, an email, and we can look into it for you and help you, assist you. One thing I do want to push is that what if you want to add items to share with others? That's a great thing. That's what next session is all about. And in particular, I want to say if it helps you, it'll help others. Perhaps you, and I have touched into this a few times today already, you may pull up an item and it's in a different language than yours. Well, I will help you customize it to your language and then make a generic version for others to share in your language. And at that point, say, using that same example before, we now would have it in English and Spanish. Well, if somebody Michael in Quebec wants it in French, absolutely I would work with him and get that done. And then we now have it in French. And perhaps Lika down in Brazil needs it in Portuguese. There you go. Now we have Portuguese. And the beauty of a membership-driven organization is we're there for each other. We can certainly assist and build these resources that matter to you. I mean, I can invent all kinds of things, and that's great. I'm happy to do it. But isn't it better to take things that we know you need, get them right for you, get them out there, and get them to other members? What a great concept. And that's really what I'm working on. Okay. Again, as always, if you need assistance, here I am. Again, bdorn@naui.org. I'm here to help. So again, make sure you watch the next session. There's just too much to put in one session. I like these all to go about around half an hour of my lecture at best, with some questions and answers. Some I have 10 or 15 minutes of questions, some I have 2 or 3 minutes. So I try to keep the time down. So I broke this particular topic into 2 areas: tools to build your NAUI business, and then how to customize your NAUI business tools. So stay tuned for that coming in a couple of weeks. As always, when we're talking, I want to make sure we have a call to action that we can work on. I like to break it into 3 categories, as you see on the screen. So here's some calls to action you could work on. Take time and collect what promotional items you're using. You may find you've got nothing. You may find you've got a horn of plenty. It's just so much stuff. Well, that's great. Pull it together and look at it. Look at it and go, this one really worked. This one didn't. This one did. This one didn't. This was like, yeah, kind of worked. And you break them into groups, and you can start to learn what works in your area by being honest with yourself and looking at items you did. Some of them you say, boy, I wasted a lot of money there. I shouldn't have spent the money. The same thing goes with competitors. If you see your competitor's got a really good thing, it doesn't mean you copy it. That's just wrong. But on the other hand, you could gain insight of what you're looking for from that marketing piece. And don't be afraid to venture off into other industries. I mean, there's wonderful marketers out there. Pepsi is a great marketing organization. In addition, McDonald's is, and you've heard me on other NAUI talks mention different things they've done quite successfully. So feel free to look at other competitors and go, well, I like the way they do that. I wonder how it would work for me. Well, maybe you can answer that question, and maybe you can't. Maybe through a dialogue, you and I could talk, and we could come up with how it could work with you. And I got news. If you're an independent instructor and it works for you, it probably works for a whole lot of other independent instructors. Maybe not all, but a lot. If you're a charter boat, same conversation. If you're a store, same conversation. And a store in one city isn't going to compete with a store in another city, a store in one country to a store in another country. We're stronger together as NAUI, building the NAUI brand, and we're all benefiting from it. So this is a great opportunity to share, and we all benefit from it. Everybody will have access to these. These will be excellent. So if you've done that right away, like today, start pulling that stuff out. It might take a few days, but start today. Next week, book your session, book the next session, and now we talk on how we can customize these folders. And between that time frame, you can start identifying things you're looking to do or accomplish. And what I like to tell everybody is plan and use at least 3 ideas from the member resource folder every month. Again, that ties back into my section on the mini 3 marketing plans. I'm a big fan of do everything and do it at least 3 times. If you do it 3 times every day or 3 times every month, it's going to come and pay out somehow. Doing something once could easily be just getting the tip of the icebergs, people thinking about getting a course, and then they don't get it done. So 3 is the big number. Get things done 3. Because quite often people need 5 to 6 recognitions or attempts at contacting before they actually follow through and sign up. So 3 is a pretty minimum number. So plan on doing that as your call to action. So what we looked at today was how to find that marketing resource folder, how to navigate it, phase 1, which is this switch to this new platform, phase 2, which is the customization process and ongoing building of tools together with you, and of course the call to action. Remember, I record all of these sessions and I place them up on NAUI TV. So go ahead, feel free to listen to this twice, 3 times, whatever works for you. Feel free to share it with other people in your organization, nearby, your store, your club, your resort, or friends in other areas, because we can all benefit from this. I've handled any questions we've had along the way. Don't see any more in the pool there, so I'm going to say thank you for attending and remind you that the upcoming sessions are going to be, again, on the 19th of October, how to customize your promotional items in that new folder, the NAUI tools. And then, of course, we have member updates going to be going online this year for members worldwide with different sessions. And our annual general meeting will be held in a few time slots in November as well, and again online. So without further ado, I'd like to say thank you very much for giving me the time and the privilege of speaking with you. I hope this all works for you. And in the meantime, do your best to get out there, get this information collected, do the calls to action so that we can all benefit. Thank you and have a great day.